myself, Eddie, or Dave have activated your accounts, and any sites assigned to you will be found inside the APS portal. Unfortunately, I don't have a pilot account, so I can't log into a pilot account to show you that, but obviously all of you know that's there. But that link to be able to directly go to your APS account. The next thing is we try to add to is some guys, as we're bringing on new people around the country, is we do try to provide an APS portal, tutorials, and FAQ documents. We're still kind of working on the FAQ document, but Dave has taken his time to slowly add some things into a Google folder that is essentially videos that he takes on his computer with kind of an admin pilot account. That how do I register as a new user? How do I register an access issuing system? How do I, log airspace document each of those, scenarios inside our portal? Because on a side note, our portal is extremely important because we have client accounts that we give to our clients so they can access the portal only to see client-specific things. So as you guys update and you live with what your forecasts, what your situations are, that information is fed to the clients as well to keep them fully updated. So if you guys ever need it, how do I do something in here? And if you ever have a suggestion of, hey, I don't know how to do this, I didn't see this in the tutorial, please let us know. We'll get a video recorded and we'll get it put in. Last, another account you'll have in here is your Beehive Cloud account.
Yeah.
At night, after you complete a Beehive PPI fight,
No,
you have a portal. I don't have access to my current account to see it, so these are actually Verizon-owned sites. But essentially, this is what it looks like when you log into a Beehive dashboard to upload your Beehive product. So you'll upload to that specific Beehive account. Why I specify that is because you'll see here, please note you must register a different email to create a new Beehive account for each Beehive client. So if you have cloned Beehive registration, you'll need to create a new Beehive account, and this is with a new email specific for Beehive to activate for that new client. And to kind of give a gist of it, Beehive they have built their own software, they've built their own websites, they've built their own apps. They're still working the programming so that a pilot has an account that they could share access to multiple client portals, and they currently do not have it. So unfortunately, say if you do this Beehive CPI work for us, and then I follow up on Andres, and I said, hey man, I need you on Beehive Verizon work, you available? Yep. Oh, well, hey, by the way, you need to create a new account for Beehive under a different email to be able to log your portal. Now, could this be fixed in months to come? I'm sure it will be. It isn't the highest priority. Client-specific stuff is obviously the highest priority, but Beehive is always working to try and make it a better experience for the pilots. So again, you'll log into the Beehive account. That's where you'll do the email and password that you use to do your training. And after Beehive activates it, you'll be able to do it and log in. This is kind of your home page. Obviously, I can't see it right now. Or I can't with this account. Let's say you click on an account.
They say where to go.
We're going to go up here. If you had cloned this, like if I had cloned this site, I would go up here, and this would show is that upload files would be white, so that I could upload it. And Beehive is literally as simple as when you click. It's not going to let me because
They say how many you did?
But it asks you upload your flight survey, and you drag and drop it. And it named it when you build it. Upload your 3D tour survey. You drag and drop it. And it knows exactly how many photos you're supposed to have, and it knows exactly what the name is of each of those photos. So they try their best to make it a very simple system for you guys to just drag and drop and upload your stuff in the evening. And then last thing that you'll have for this specific client for PTI, Phoenix Power International, we have to register an account with them to schedule each of our sites. Please don't let that scare you. It is not a complicated process. I know some of you have seen the pictures I've posted in the group chat already. We are kind of learning because as we scheduled some sites in New York, they called me, Phoenix Tower called me up and was like, hey, could you please be more specific in what exactly y'all are doing on site, that you're licensed commercial drone pilots, etc. But obviously, if you're a new user, you can register here to do a new user. I have shared with you guys, and it is also document a PowerPoint on how to register as a new user. Once you register and Phoenix Tower approves your account, which is a fairly quick process, all you got to do is log in. Then you're going to go to your main page. You'll go to site access, and you'll be able to request access and fill out all this information, which again, I provide some screenshots. I am going to build another PowerPoint, link it to how to fill this out inside of our project document. Just haven't done it yet, but I will get to it.
Everyone and their mother had
So
the same
with
damn
understanding accounts that you needed through this project, does anybody have any questions?
Just backtracking.
Yeah, I've got a quick question.
Just how?
So on the
the Beehive account. You're showing us the PTI account.
Holy shit!
Log in if you don't have it set up with your account. I'm seeing every way I'm trying to change the Beehive just today, including the account.
Yes,
Basically sign into your account with email. And I even tried putting in my typical email that you guys have and request password, but I'm not being able to see where I can set up accounts. Is that something that you've set up, or?
Can't stop here, Tommy. Keep running through it. Get back up, man. They're behind me, too. There. Hold on.
Personal
Go.
things done for about 2.5 hours before this meeting. So no problem. I did see your message. So normally how I do the Beehive flight training, and then and you use that same account to log in to do the Beehive ground training, which is both these links are here. Once you complete that, I then send a request to Beehive. Please activate that pilot in there. So I am catching up on a lot of people right now. So I saw your message, and after this call, I am going to double back on your message, see where you are with it. If you're complete with both those trainings, then all it is I'm sending an update to request to Beehive. Hey guys, please activate pilot account. And then once they do, send an email to verify your account. And once you verify that account, you'll be able to access those in the Beehive portal that I'm showing you here, as well as on your RC and in the Beehive app on your phone. Great. That clears it up. Thank you. No problem. Any other?
Yeah. I got a couple of questions. So for this, is that made by Beehive or is it the?
Come here, baby. Come here. Give me your hand.
So I'll say it's not the actual. It's the same login. So I'll just.
It's the Beehive 360 app. I've done grand.
You're gonna need to run.
Good, Dave.
So I just need you to get into to use it.
Keep us safe.
Correct.
And one other thing, I'm working on projects with eBay, so I've seen all this stuff kind of flow by and haven't looked at it. So with PTI access requests, I appreciate you request it and fill in the form. How long does that process take? Is it like once you build it in, you're good to go, or does it require some to and fro and someone to check it and authorize it at the PTI end?
So I'll give you 3 responses to that. First response is I've been on a phone call with a pilot helping him out, and he got a response back in 5 minutes saying you are approved for this site. I've worked with another pilot, I believe Michael, who's on here. I want to say it might have been 1 to 2 hours that he got a response.
It was pretty quick. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you could prep your sites for the following day, the evening before, or you have to further ahead?
So that's where there's a risk, and this is my third point. Yeah. I just had a site that he's not on the call, but Victor is working some sites in New York that ended up being Phoenix Tower sites that are located on the New York State Authority interstate, which they love to control their things. So I got basically kind of a nasty call because they didn't understand what we were doing, but once they understood what we were doing, they're like, oh, okay, no big deal. But just so you know, these do have to be coordinated with the New York State New York Thruway Authority. A permit has to be bought. So there could be a reply back. So I mean, if it looks like a general site, that's kind of where it's tough, where it's like, hey, this is a site in a cow field in the middle of nowhere or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but if you're like, man, this site's on the side of an interstate next to a toll booth, when you submit that request, be a little cautious that you may not get tomorrow morning.
So it depends on the market, basically. Yes. New York's always tricky.
Correct. I would be a little cautious in how when you look at a site, like when I request this site, what could be that situation? Does that kind of help answer that?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's like a good overview. Thank you.
Copy. The applications that you guys will use, which they are in the Beehive training, so that's why they're just kind of listed here. The Beehive flight software, which is Google Play or the Amazon store. I know there's been some changes to that. I think I will say I am not 100% savvy with the RC controller for the M3E and all that, but you'll be using the Beehive app on the RC controller, and you log in, because that's another thing for some of you guys who've done Beehive Verizon before. You will log in under that specific PTI account when you do PTI work. Because if you don't, say you're at a PTI tower and you're on your RC controller and you log into your Verizon Beehive account and you're next to the PTI tower, it will not populate on your controller as you being next to the tower. So that's another thing to be wary of is, which Beehive client are you working for, and make sure you're logged into the correct account. And that when you look at a site, like when I request this site, what could be that situation? Does that kind of help answer that?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's like a good overview. Thank you.
Copy. The applications that you guys will use, which they are in the Beehive training, so that's why they're just kind of listed here. The Beehive flight software, which is Google Play or the Amazon store. I know there's been some changes to that. I think I will say I am not 100% savvy with the RC controller for the M3E and all that, but you'll be using the vHive app on the RC controller, and you log in, because that's another thing for some of you guys who've done vHive Verizon before. You will log in under that specific PTI account when you do PTI work. Because if you don't, say you're at a PTI tower and you're on your RC controller and you logged into your Verizon vHive account and you're next to the PTI tower, it will not populate on your controller as you being next to the tower. So that's another thing to be wary of is, which vHive client are you working for, and make sure you're logged into the correct account. And that plays both on the vHive app software on your RC as well as the vHive 360 app on your phone. Does anyone have questions about that? Or Dave or Justin, if I'm speaking wrong, correct me.
No, that sounds good.
Anyone else have questions with those are the two apps that y'all will be using? Cool. Kind of the training required documents, it's just kind of the general stuff. I don't have to go too crazy because most of the stuff as you guys onboard, Dave, Eddie, and myself gather from you guys. But OSHA 10 and your ID card, ARP awareness, flight logs, those things we've already got from you guys. So we're not too concerned. We just like to list them on here because we know this client that's most things that APS asks all you guys for is not because Dave's like, let me ask these guys for 1 million documents. It's because we have clients who require certain documents for us to do work off the bat. So it's not us trying to be sticklers. It's just, we're just trying to cover so that the moment we have you good and ready, you're good and ready. We're not like, hey, we got you onboarded to us, but let's onboard you with this person and we try and have you ready to just do basic work for multiple of our clients. Next thing that we have here, if you have not done it yet, you need to do it. Obviously, the vHive automated flight capture training. This is in my way. Hang on, the meeting thing is in my way. If you click on this link here, if you have not done it yet, you can either sign up to do this training, and again, if you've done prior vHive work, make sure you can use the same name, but you just need a new email and password. If you're coming back to do your vHive work or to do training or something like that, you can always log back into the account you created and finish that training. Same thing applies for the vHive 360 app for their ground survey training. The same login you use, so say if you register with the flight training on here and then you finished it, you don't need to create a new one for your their ground 360 app training. You just use the same login to do it. Just make sure you use that one that you're creating for a specific client, PTI, Verizon, etc. So this talks about this, and this is kind of that note I made. Said for the vHive training, you can use the same login you use to complete the flight training, can be also used to log in for the ground training. As I kind of spoke about earlier, with your PTI website, I built kind of a quick drill through. This ain't a pretty PowerPoint, but it's a PowerPoint that it goes through exactly, how you need to register for a Phoenix Tower International account, and then exactly what you need. Obviously, I highlighted the fields you need to fill out, what you need to put in, and then what you should get from there. So let's example of an email verification, example of your setting your new password. When I try to build these things, I try and build screenshots so that you guys understand where to look for these things.
Did you say vHive are working on allowing us to sign in with one email for multiple clients in the future?
I don't know when that's going to be. That is
in the pipeline.
I'm sure it's on their roadmap. Where it lies as a priority, I do not know. I don't know. So I'll ask the guys and see where they're at with it. But like I said, I'm sure right now the business's priority is on client needs, and then also it's client needs, and then pilot, the flight software efficiency and stuff like that in the field is their priority. Would be my assumption. I'm not speaking for them. And then last thing is, I know I kind of set out a thing. This is a PowerPoint. The link for the site account request walkthrough. They did send us their own PowerPoint where they kind of go over how to do it, but it is not always, like, kind of reading through it, I was just like, man, this is kind of a lot for, man, what fields do I need to fill out and complete? So that's why you guys can actually see here, why I was kind of I sent those screenshots to everybody where, when you fill out a site access request, which again, we talked about going to site access, request access, and I took a screenshot of, what it should look like and highlighted what fields you should be completing and what should be in them. So if you aren't sure, I did type up a generic message. I've already kind of changed it for a couple people who had their, request specific items. but essentially this should be fine for requesting. If they deny it and need more information, I'll help you guys adjust those, any sort of details as need be. But so for that, we've kind of gone over required documents, where you can find your flight training, and then where you can set up and how to use for the PTI registration and walkthrough. Does anyone have any questions for training and required documents? Cool. This should be a quick section as well. This is just going over equipment. Obviously, we kind of engage screens and, interviews everyone and kind of goes with them. The big thing right now is needing the M3E with an RTK module, the top hat. Some pilots just have an in-trip subscription. That's perfectly fine. It's just we have to have RTK for all our flights. Some pilots have an RTK base station, whether that be an MLIT RS2, MLIT RS3. I think it's DJI DRTK, D something RTK. So those are completely fine as well. With this PTI, the big thing to specify, and I know I have with most of you who are in here, you need at least an iPhone with cellular or an iPad with cellular to do the VHive 360 app when you do the ground survey. Again, I know I've kind of communicated that with most everybody before they, issuing this work, but we like to make sure we reiterate, what is required to run that app and run VHive software. Another item we've communicated with everyone is the Insta 360 X3 or X4. Obviously, we know the X3 is, the older model, X4 is new. Either one works, and then that you would need that with a selfie stick. Luckily, this is not what it used to be. They used to buy a mount and tell you to attach it to your hard hat and walk around the compound. So now it's just a selfie stick, so you don't feel as goofy walking around the compound. But obviously, in the VHive 360 app training, it goes through exactly how to use the Insta360 and how to complete your capture for the site. Next thing with that equipment is going over the next kind of part of the ground survey, but is that heavy-duty Gorilla Tape, the ground marker magnetic sign holder, which is these right here. And then what it is those are holding what these ground walk markers are, this survey thing. Obviously, it tells you on this first page, do not use, but when you download this document from this project document, these markers are used to go inside of basically these page holders. These markers go in and it tells you inside the VHive 360 ground training, it tells you how to place and how to set up these markers, which is just 5 of them. I know you see 6 pages, but the front page is just a cover page. But there's 5 different specific markers that you put inside those page covers and you will put throughout the compound for setting up to do the VHive 360 ground survey. So again, the best thing a lot of the guys who've done it in the field is these kind of magnetic frames, but they have the ability to put, it's a clear cover, so you can put your marker inside there. You can hang it to any magnetic surface. If you don't have a magnetic surface, that's where we kind of mentioned getting like the heavy-duty Gorilla Glue tape. Some people use double-sided 3M tape to be able to attach those to sides of shelters, gates, the towers, items like that. With going over equipment, does anyone have any questions about equipment?
Are they the same markers that we used last year on the Verizon project with VHive?
Yes. So I don't think they had any update, but before I built all this, I said, can you guys send me the most latest? And they're like, it is the latest. I said, I know, just send me your most latest from your computer so that I know I have the most up-to-date markers. So they did. So this is as of last week, their most up-to-date markers to download and use in the ground survey.
Gotcha. I've actually got some information about those. I remember last year when I printed them, because VHive are international, they're formatted as an A4 page, which is a European page size. So if you print them in the US on US letter paper, they will scale differently. And obviously the dimensions of these markers are very specific and have to be exact. So what you have to do is tell your printer to print them at 100% and not scale them to fit on a different paper size.
Okay. Check this out.
Hopefully with the updated ones that you just got, because I just printed some out and they fit. They were the normal like 8.5 by 11. So maybe they changed that.
That could be possible.
I put them in those magnetic holders. They fit fine. So. But Dave, on spreading those around the compound, how much do we kind of spread them out on the compound, the distances between?
They've got to be at least a few meters apart, basically, so they can't be like right next to each other. 2 or 3 meters apart is ideal, and anyway, you can kind of skip them.
At any level, as far as height?
Level is critical. I remember last year they told us that they should all be at exactly the same height. So how I used to do it was I used to hold them at the same height on my body when I mounted them to a surface. So using myself as a height measure, essentially.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Essentially, it would be a 6 feet roll. That way, your Insta360 can capture it while you're walking. So if you do have it at a lower point, say like 3 or 4 feet, the camera might not be able to see the pattern on those markers. So you want to have them because you're holding it above your head.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure to have them at a height that way you can recognize or see those markings.
Yeah, I put them about chest height, basically, as long as you can find a surface.
Correct. Yes.
That's around that height. And if you hold your arm the same height every time you place each one relative to the ground, they'll all be level.
Correct.
And how about the angle of the selfie stick as you're facing it forward and walking? How high is that, and what's the angle you're using?
Angle is straight up 90 degrees to the ground. As long as the camera is directly above your head, that's the one place the camera cannot see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Dave and Justin. Any other questions with equipment?
Yeah, I was going to mention, you said RTK base stations there and specific compatibility with the DJI RTK2 base station, but Justin and I know the MLID base stations are also compatible with vHive with a certain specific setup, and I have the detail of that. If anyone has or wants to use an MLID base, I can help them configure it.
Hey, Dave, with that, is that a long, lengthy thing? Or is that something?
No, it's a diagram I sketched on a piece of hotel printer paper late one night and turned it into a PDF file. I'll send it to you.
Okay, if you send it, and then I will add it to here as a drop down and indent it over. I'll say for the MLID, please have it set up under these things, and I'll just upload it national by each of you pilots. We provide areas inside our portal. Their account, you'll have in their account tied to Act Authority. Client specific stuff is obviously the highest priority, but vHive is always working to try and make it a better experience for the pilot. So again, you'll log into the vHive account. That's where you'll do the email and password that you use to do your training. And after vHive activates it, you'll be able to do it and log in. This is kind of your home page. Obviously, I can't see it right now, or I can't with this account. But say you click on an account, we're going to go up here. If you had flown if I had flown this site, I would go up here, and this would show as that upload tab, and it knows exactly what the naming is of each of those photos. So they try their best to make it a very simple system for you guys to just drag and drop and upload your stuff in the evening. And then last thing that you'll have for this specific client for PTI, Phoenix Tower International, we have to register an account with them to schedule each of our sites. Please don't let that scare you. It is not a complicated process. I know some of you have seen the pictures I've posted in the group chat already. We are kind of learning because as we scheduled some sites in New York, they called me, Phoenix Tower called me up and was like, hey, could you please be more specific in what exactly y'all are doing on sites, that you're licensed commercial drone pilots, etc. But obviously, if you're a new user, you can register here to do a new user. I have shared with you guys, and it is also in process. All this information, I haven't done it yet, but I will get to it. So with understanding accounts that you needed for this project, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a quick question.
Yes, Kyle.
So on the vHive account, how you're just showing us the PTI account has when you go to log in if you don't have a set up new account. I'm seeing every way. I'm trying to get into vHive just today, including on the app I downloaded. It goes straight to sign into your account with email. And I even tried putting in my typical email that you guys have and said request password, but I'm not being able to see where I can set up account. Is that something that you've set up, or?
So that is something. I did see your message. I ain't gonna lie to you. At about 4:30, I had to step away from the desk to get some personal things done for about 2.5 hours before this meeting. So
no problem.
I did see your message. So normally how it works is once you complete the vHive flight training, and then and you use that same account to log in to do the vHive ground training, which is both these links are here. Once you complete that, I then send a request to vHive. Please activate that pilot in there.
Playing from PLO. I drank it. I think. We'll check it real quick. Let's do it. Just do it.
I literally left. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a chai tea. And then I left. Now, okay, bye. Smile, smile for me, baby.
Playing from PLO.
Cut the fucking camera. Handlebar mount pro. Is the
Sorry I'm late, boss. He tell you I'm stopping by? Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to drop them off to you. I got those 6.5-inch pipes. But I need to take a shit, man.
6.5 inch pipes. What's he talking about?
Well, I don't know. I've been carrying them around for 2 weeks. I finally found you guys. I didn't know you were down here in German Village, but
I think you got the wrong person, buddy. I'm just.
Daddy, I'm scared.
Joel, watch out!
No.
Just keep your eyes closed, honey.
Oh my. These people are on fire.
Don't look sick.
Why are they doing that?
Just keep looking at me, baby. We're gonna get out of this. I promise. This way! Through the alley! Go! He's dead! God damn it! We're almost there. We're almost there, baby. They're getting through the fence! Keep going! Find your way out of here! Come on! Go! Move it! Get to the highway! Go! You got Sarah! I can outrun them!
Uncle Tommy?
I will meet you there! Hurry!
Daddy, we can't leave him!
He's gonna be fine. Almost there.
They're getting closer. Dad?
It's okay, baby. We're safe. We're safe. Hey, we need help. Stop! Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Oh, shit. Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, no, no. Please. 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 Please don't. Please.
The number of confirmed deaths has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
There are hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Panic spread worldwide after a leaked report from the World Health Organization showed that the latest vaccination tests have failed.
With the bureaucrats out of power, we can finally take the necessary steps.
Los Angeles is now the latest city to be placed under martial law. All residents are required to report to their designated quarantine. Riots have continued for a third consecutive day, and winter rations are at an all-time low.
A group calling themselves the Fireflies have claimed responsibility for both attacks.
Their public charter calls for the return of all branches of government.
Demonstrations broke out following the execution of 6 more alleged Fireflies.
You can still rise with us. Remember, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Believe in the Fireflies.
I'm coming.
Welcome to the M300 RTK tutorials.
How was your morning?
No, I don't want one.
Well, I have some interesting news for you.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop to make.
We had a drop to make.
Well, you wanted to be left alone, remember?
So I'll take one guess. The whole deal went south and the client made off with our pills. Is that about right?
Deal went off without a hitch. Enough ration cards to last us a couple of months, easy.
You want to explain this?
I was on my way back here, and I got jumped by these two assholes, all right? And yeah, they got a few good hits in, but... Look, I managed.
Give me that. Are these assholes still with us?
That's funny.
At least find out who they were.
Yeah, look, they were a couple of nobodies. They don't matter. What matters is that Robert fucking sent them.
Our Robert.
He knows that we're after him. He figures he's gonna get us first.
Son of a bitch, he's smart.
No. He's not smart enough. I know where he's hiding.
Like hell you do.
Old warehouse in Area 5. Can't say for how long, though.
Well, I'm ready now, yeah?
Oh, I can do now. The checkpoint's still open.
Only on a few hours till curfew.
Well, we better hurry up then.
what's on your mind. Wait, I'm gonna do this.